And hello everybody, this is Gamer with Opinions, Dentatus from War Alliance on 1119 on the game Infinity Kingdom. Sorry about that, I was distracted, my cat was doing stuff. Alright, so welcome to the third installment on the castle tutorial, building tutorial. This is more like a finishing touch about castle buildings, and we're gonna get into immortals as well. So first, to finish with castles, a few tricks, hints that you can get. Like you see here, I have activated bonuses because I am going for my castle 27. Just the walls will require a lot. Alright. That's just the walls. Plus, I do have the castle itself to up and maintain this, plus catch up on this and these. So we need resources. And currently on 119 we are at war. It's killing day. It's kill day. So this is an expensive day because on everything, right? Because you use your APs and everything. Plus there is the tarantula, So and farming your usual stuff like goblins and especially machines. So anyways, all that combined is say that you have a lot of expenses. One good way to do to go around this is farming, and I will get into the importance of having a farm. So farming is basically you find derelict castles and you attack them, or when you have a kill event, you go crazy and attack as much as possible targets that you can afford. Like for a guy my size, this is a nice farm. I can actually get an ability from this maybe. Sometimes it's not the level of the castle that will you'll attack a 15 castle level 15 and make maybe a few points of nobility, and you'll attack a 10 or 11 and you'll make a maximum amount. So it really depends on what's available to kill at the time you're attacking. Anyways, so the whole idea here is not fishing for nobility. Nobility is all good and fine, but in the end it doesn't provide you with very much advantage in the short term. But the resources in the castle itself that are plundered by your attacks, this is very useful. It goes, of course, way faster than the usual mining into a node, and you do have the perk of getting the ability. Plus, in this game, you don't lose troops at the same rate. You'll be using your shields or your lancers, bowmen, and so on. Thing is, your bowmen will be the ones suffering most of the losses, especially when you get attacked. So there will always be an imbalance in your troops. One good thing is about attacking and having some losses. I recommend when you farm, attacking with your lower formations, and maybe you can use heroes that don't use your main troops as much, so that you don't, so that you will get the losses, let's say on shields or stuff like that. And that way you can retrain archers that you'll be needing, because you need to up the numbers of archers that you have been losing massively. Eventually you'll be able to recalibrate all your troops. You don't need as much, let's say, shields as you do archers. You don't need as much lancers as you do archers. So the idea is to try to keep a ratio between all your troops, so that you can retrain as you go what you need and what you lose in a war. War is not a bad thing, by the way. So people, if you think this game is Farmville, Play something else. Please do. Please, please, please. You'll be unhappy. You'll be very unhappy if you think it's Farmville. It's not Farmville. It's really nice and sweet to see your castle grow and see those numbers rise and see your rank rising into the kingdom and stuff like that. But in the end, it doesn't matter much. All right. But the rewards of war are real for a lord and his castle. Your castle has to be into wars. If it's not, you're not going to grow very fast. You get all the best stuff from the wars. So you won't be able to always find castles that have resources that you want, need, available to you. All right. This is where the trick number one comes in. It's a basic trick that you do in every game of that type. You create a secondary account with a fake email, of course, and then you raise that castle to level 9. Once it's up to level 9, you bring it to your server, in that case 119. That thing, you never build much troops in it, and you don't invest much in marches. Your marches, you just want to have the march to go and gather. Basically, you don't build fortifications at all, and you max out on the building that has resources. The idea is that, and of course, this has to be in a different alliance than the one your main castle belongs to. Now, when you need resources to complete works and this and that, you can attack your own castle and farm it. You'll farm it for nobility, you'll farm it for everything. So this is, of course, you don't really invest money in the farms, right? Unless you want to turn them into hyper farms. That's something that I will be talking about later. This is more of an advanced notion, what an hyper farm is and what its use is. Let's say that if you don't intend to be a whale or a mid-range player, an hyper farm is not something you want to consider. So that's the thing with farms. Now, your alliance usually will have a farm alliance of some sort, where you send people and you send your farms and you build that alliance, because eventually you'll be moving some of your best players into that alliance once it has reached an interesting level for city taking. That is how an alliance can expand its membership of top players without having them suffering without suffering anything. So I mean, belonging to a big alliance, you get all the nice rewards because it's mostly pay players. Even if they are low-paying players, they are still pay players. So you get lots of gifts, lots of rewards from their activities. And that is precious, of course, to grow a castle. Of course, you have to earn your place in a place like this usually. So war is really nice in the way that it doesn't have any requirements for its member. No spending, blah 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 blah. We are pretty loose on that, but we do ask the collaboration of everybody that can pull in an effort when we are doing a drive, when we are trying to go up a notch. All right, so now that we have talked about farms, let's go back into the castle itself. So we have talked about the recycling and we have talked about its virtues. Now we're going to go really for the immortals themselves. Sorry, there we go. So the immortals, they will be the blunt of your formations, like we said, this and that. Now there comes a time of choices. You do need to focus on certain formation that you really want to play. Logically speaking, if you aspire to be low to mid-range player, you seek to build at least three good formation. That'll take time. That'll take time. Finding the right fragments and everything to up your teams with low spending is something that takes a bit of doing and a bit of luck. But it's not hard to do right now in this game, mainly because it's early access and that the drop rates are pretty good. They will drop, trust me, eventually. They'll be nerfed down. Such is the way of game. So in my case, let's take my case, right? I don't push my build at all. All right, you make your own choices. You have to make choices with what you feel comfortable with. The elements you can see as representing part of yourself and play style. So it's not stupid to pick an element that reflects you as well. Now we're gonna go through the elements themselves and their virtues and stuff. Earth. So Earth is the, according to me, all right, it's worth what it's worth. But according to me, this is the easiest build for a medium-sized castle and medium-sized to high power level castle. It is a very strong archetype. If you get Zenobia, you have access to healing, which makes this very sturdy. Zenobia is very versatile. As someone in my alliance was pointing out today, I think it was Hillsbilly, but could shout out to him. He was pointing out that he was adding her into a water formation for Irena, and she was giving him good results, which is, yes, of course it will, because she has better healing than what's available in the water archetype, and she's pretty beefy as well because she's Earth. The loss on resonance is basically a 10 extra HP that she compensates for very nicely. Thank you. So yeah, and if you are playing water, adding a talent like this, like I love it in my Earth build, it's thump. So basically 17.5% at my level to cause a random stun on a unit. So, you know, Earth is all about stun. Stun is really good against pretty much any elements. So, Earth, you can get those heroes easily. Alright, well, those trees easily. This one, well, you're gonna have to spend one time. You're gonna have to spend on the VIP chest at level 6 together. And then you can upper by the market because she'll start appearing on the market on a more regular basis because she's part of your owns. That is part of the way the market works. I'll be speaking about that later. So to me, this doesn't require much investment. Basically, you invest only in Boudica once, and you slowly upper up. So it's pretty resilient as a build, has access to many good talents, will get you high into the arena. I mean, I'm gold 1, I think, and I'm not even trying the arena yet. You know, so it's not worth it. Just wait for the next season to really try it out. But I've been told by a couple of players of my crew that tried me out on the arena that I was pretty beefy. So yeah, but that's what Earth does. Earth is resilient, but your front line takes a lot of damage. So you have to beef up the front line with talents and up their equipment first as much as possible. Next, water. Water is low cost to build. It's really low cost to build. It's really good in PvE. So there's that. Problem is that in PvP, it just doesn't cut it. It is very good for one thing, garrisoning. Garrisoning with water actually gives you a nice protection on the wall, and you are using troops like shields that you're not losing much of usually. So that is pretty good. If you have access to Ramses, you can have you can have access to spearmans as you do with this, but in the golden frame, right? But just this setup here is a basic setup to defend your walls, cost nothing, right? This is all acquired freely, openings and market. So I recommend building your water, not too much, but and then so once you're comfortable, garrison it, and that will be a nice use of your water archetype. Next archetype, fire. Fire is the best archetype if you want a PvP. Problem is, it's the worst archetype cost-wise. So you have to be very patient with fire. So you have to build it as a backline, basically for a very long time, until you can actually land the good stuff for it and up it up. What it is worth though is it deals so much damage, and it is very useful in places like the Mysterium, and also it can help you at certain stages of the well. So it is worth considering investing in fire if you have money and you really want to be a pay player, and we're talking pure pay to win player. All right, you buy Charles, so that's what you do, and you top him off. That'll be a very expensive endeavor. I haven't run the figure exactly, but it's over $1,000 for sure. So that's a lot of mula to get that immortal in your fire line. But this is why they're making you pay for it, because once you have him and you have the other goldens that goes with him, right? The other goldens are not, of course, as expensive and not as hard to get. It is really Charles that is a problem. Well, then so you end up with the best striking force in the game, basically. So that's that. Next element, wind. Wind is very nice. That's such a nice, that's such a nice element. It is very versatile. It has access to healing better than water does. It has very nice effects and damage. Very powerful on the bowman's wind. So the bowman's units on the wind is they are the major dealers of damage or effects. You can consider sometimes mixing wind with something else like Oli, and that gives you a combination that is actually very resilient. This is early stage of your build. The problem with wind is the dragon. The dragon is so awesome, but it's so hard to level up. Getting the wind crystals, it's hard. There's not too many places you can get them. You end up spending to get them. So again, depending on what you want to do, if you want to be a high spender, go wind. It's a very good archetype, very versatile. I wouldn't play it as a main, right? But it is very good as a second line or third line or even a fourth line. So, I mean, I wouldn't play that as a fourth line. It ranks way better. Fourth line would always be the garrison line. So in my case, water. So that's win. It is worth investing in it, but like I said, this is an expense. Like if you want it medium term, short term, this is something that will cost you maybe, with luck, $200 to build, to have something workable. I'm not talking about main. If you want this as a main, think more about $300 to $500. All right, lightning. The disappointing lightning. I don't invest in it at all. It's good. Oh yeah, it can deal massive damage. When you see it in PvE, you say, "Wow, that hits me hard," and this and that. But actually, once you study the maths, it's not that good. The stun effect on the dragon, well, you get better from hurt first. Damage, they are the, well, let's say third best damage dealer in the game. But they are not very sturdy. They do have access to regen, but they are not very sturdy. So you can, if you have the proper stuff, you can knock off a hero really easy and really fast, and thus ruining the whole formation. After that, the formation will crumble because there's a missing piece. So this game, the way combat works, as soon as somebody loses an immortal, he will lose the battle, because the two against one on the immortal will just bring all the stuff down one by one. All right, so personally, don't invest in this. All right, really don't. If you want to play stun, play earth, play wind. If you want something, if you want to hit with something, but don't play lightning. The dragon's not good. The heroes, there are some good, but I mean, I'm going to propose you something better if you want to play something that deals damage and is looking like lightning. So, next archetype, what are we missing now? We're missing Holy and Shadow. So, holy moly. Holy is pretty good. As you can see, I've been lucky, got two cute ones, and I got a Joan of Arc somewhere that I can up, which I will, of course. Here's Joan. So I already have 3/4 of the line assembled for Holy. This will be my third line, as Holy is a perfect counter for elements. It is not that bad to assemble either. It's easy to get them. Gilgamesh, Caesar, got them free. They were easy to get. Got Joan free. And I expect to get a decent Holy eventually somewhere free from an event or something. So I'll have a complete line of this. This will have cost nothing really. You work it slowly and it does wonders. It will help you a lot when you're attacking a castle. I'll be explaining in the castle how to use your marches, in the war episode, how to use your marches. But only in battle, since it counters every element, is a very nice choice. It deals damage, has access to regen, and also is pretty resilient. But it is like a overall build. So it's not great at anything, but it's pretty good at everything. Everything that matters anyways. Problem? Well, first I would play a restorative dragon with this build, a good water dragon or a good earth dragon. This is what I would play with this for a holy build. That's the first thing. The second thing that I think is a problem with this is the fact that they can't truly excel at anything. So they are a really nice backup line, but I don't consider them to be worthy of a main line. So be warned if you are going into that archetype. So this is the limitation of it. Although, like I said, it's really good all around. It resists well magic, it resists well control, it deals good damage, it regens, it has good armor, everything, you know. But there's that. Alright, I don't have any, but the next one is Shadow. Shadow is excellent and costly to build, let me tell you. This is why I haven't picked it, because it's too costly and I'm already working on fire. If I do decide to invest in this game to become a bigger player, I'll be working on fire, not on Shadow, because I have already a good start in fire and I explained the other reasons already. But Shadow first counters all the elements for sure and boosts against Holy. Holy boosts against Shadow. So, and Shadow can deal real massive amount of damage, can silence lines. It is very annoying, very good, very hard hitting. Not as sturdy as Holy, not as good on resist as Holy, but what it lacks on that, it gains on speed. So it depends on the type of thing you like. If you are the type of player that like to play a strategy that stalls the board and this and that, like in the arena, that you want to run the counter, then you go for Holy over Shadow. If you are the type that prefers to have the initiative and all in type, I'll deal the damage, it has to go through, then please do go for Shadow. So that's that for the elements that covers them all. And so now it's just a matter of picking and choosing what you really want to do with your castles. As you now know, sorry, just a second. As you now know, the good and bad side of certain archetypes. In order to be able to build those lines, the importance of farming the machines, the gnomes. I mean, you can't, there's always a lull in the game, all right? When you're outside of the weekend, there's not much events going on. There are some, but there are not much. And there are events that are mostly centered on gnomes and machines. So that is the time you use to farm for your components to up the dragon and up the equipments for your lords. Already showed in the recycle section how to improve those. So now farming those, use all your APs in the lull time. AP is something that is precious because you'll be using it a lot when you are attacking something, when your faction is attacking something, when you're sorry about that, it's just that time bubble. So when you go to war, when you're going to attack a city, when you're going to attack a special event like the Tarantula or something else, you will need massive AP. So you want to accumulate as much AP reserve, meaning the vials, as possible in the lull time. Don't use them to try to up your dragon too much, because dragons, let me show you something. And for the players that are not too familiar with the game, that will make you realize something. So this is my main dragon, right? It's level 15. So 15 is good. It's a good size, but it's not crazy, right? This is not 21 or 25 yet. I've domesticated him one time at that level. Now look at the price it's gonna cost me to get him further. I collect my gems by the 10s, 20s, so that's a very long endeavor unless I pay for it. There are events where you can earn gems. There are chests that you earn as rewards where you can get also gems. So that is quite fine. Gems, I mean the fire or gems, etc. That's quite fine. Still, it's a slow endeavor. So the strategy here, if you are a F2P or if you are a mid-range spender or low spender, you will be wanting to up one dragon to level 15. So that is the workable level to be a good size to attack and everything. Even if your castle is lower, doesn't matter. The dragon compensates a lot for power, not on your power rank, but on your hitting force, definitely. And then once you have reached a good size, as much as a good size as you can, You continue farming as much as possible for that dragon until he gets to the level you need, 15 at least. And then you raise the others. The others, you will be getting gems for them. This is the only one I'm missing. Soon I'll be getting it. And that's another reason I'm working on Ollie, but it'll be so long to up the dragon. That's why I'm saying that it's best to play a water or a dragon with Ollie. Anyways, so you work on those. Instead, you just raise them because you're going to need them for your other lines. So your dragon can't be everywhere at once when you're sending 2 or 3 marches to attack. You need dragons. This is where it's important. So there you have it. I think I've covered pretty much everything I wanted to finish the castle building section. Let me think, 5-10 seconds. Yeah, okay, yeah, so yep, that's everything for this section. So the next section, so the main lesson of this video is war is not a bad thing. Use it properly, keep your store filled, and push your castle. I've grew my castle all through the war right now, and it made it easier for me to do so. So war is not a bad thing. Attacking farm castles, remember all those principles. Next video will be on tactics, Hive tactics, alliance tactics. How do you defend? What is your role in an alliance, and what you can do for your alliance to push it further. So this was Gamer with Opinions. Please leave me a like, subscribe, share, follow. You definitely can leave a comment. This is how I improve the content. Please do leave your question in the comment section. I'm very fast at answering them. To my fellow brethren at war, well, I'll be joining you soon. Every other new players or everything, you can come and apply at 119 war. We are growing. Our roster is full, but we are building other alliances and stuff. So we will be able to make room in one of our divisions. So again, thank you all for watching. I'm wishing you a good day. Take good care, everyone.